Mulder, look, Colton plays by the book and you don't. They feel your methods, your theories are
spooky.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Without fail, every time she stops breathing
I know, I
heavy.
was trying to get her all hyped up, but
Yeah, so I had to give Cora the Heimlich today,
tell me all
and
about this
it
journey.
freaked me the fuck out. So she, Apollo just inhales his food. He doesn't even bother to chew it. He just swallows it.
Right.
But that's fine because his big, thick gullet in comparison to the brown bits isn't a big deal. Cora has now started to like emulate him because he finishes eating in 2 seconds and he'll sit and watch her and it
Gets all
stresses
creeped
her
out.
out. Yeah. So she's been eating faster. And thank God I was here because I hear her, like I'm sitting at my desk over there working and I hear her like,
Like worse than usual.
yeah, like actual choking sounds. And I look over and she's like freezing up and I could tell she's choking. And so I immediately shove my fingers down her throat and I can't find anything down there. And she's like going limp at this point. And I just, yeah, I put her in between my legs and I just smack the shit out of her back. Like I'm literally like grabbing her, like I'm sitting on my chair and she's in between my legs and I smacked her back really hard and then I grabbed her stomach and went like a, and then it fucking spit out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then she's like, and I was
fucking
like,
hero, man. Also, your hair looks dope.
Thank you.
The black.
Thank you so
This
much.
is like old Noelle.
Yeah, this is very like middle school Noelle, but
that's terrifying.
yeah, the adrenaline in me was just like that bitch right there.
Yeah, I've had to do Heimlich on a dog before. I did do Heimlich on a human.
I know, that's my favorite story of yours. You can tell it again.
Okay. So at the mall, everybody knows that there's like outside pavilions, right? It was like that. And I was with Aspen and she was very little, maybe 4. And I'm sitting there and I'm on my phone and I feel my arm get wet. And I look over, I'm looking at this guy and he's looking at me. And then he falls forward, just slumps. And I'm like, hey. And I'm like kind of like shaking him a little bit. I'm like, hey. And then so I'm like, oh my God, like I got to do the Heimlich on this man. So I get up behind him and I give him like a couple of good pushes and he coughs out a piece of his hot dog. And then a lot of fluid comes out after. Mm-hmm. And Aspen's just looking at him and I'm looking kind of down at him and he's just like, oh, like wipes the hot dog away. And I was like, you spilled your drink, man. Because he like punched it when he was choking and that's what got on my arm. And he went, yeah. And then I left.
Like a gust in the wind.
Like, what do you do?
Like, I just love that. I love that no one addressed the fact that he almost died.
Yeah, and Aspen was so little and cute. She was like, spill drink. I'm like, yeah, I know, it was crazy.
Oh, man.
But like, something comes over you in those moments. It's like, is this what we got to fucking do?
Yeah.
'Cause on my day-to-day, I'm like, I don't know. I've never had proper training at the Heimlich. I've seen it done in shitty ways on TV, but I guess that's it. That's all you got to do. The shitty way.
Yeah.
And it works on dogs, too.
If you just punch hard enough, something's going to come out. Like, you got to punch hard enough as if they weren't choking, they would lose all the air in their body and go like, you know, like that. When you get, or like when you fall so hard, all the air comes out of you and you like forward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to fucking mean it.
Yeah, that's essentially, you know, beat them like it's
Like
your
Kevin Hart
stepdad.
says, you got to say it with your chest.
Yeah, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
But you do that physically and on their chest.
Yeah, so I was like, all day today. And she doesn't even care. It doesn't even phase her. She would have just died.
I would have like called everyone I knew. Been like, guess what just happened to me? I almost choked to death. I'd tweet it. I would write it on my Facebook. Cora doesn't care. Doesn't even give a shit.
Nope, doesn't even care. Does not even care. So, hey, what's up? My name's Noelle, and I am an American hero among pug French bulldogs.
Ooh, and I'm Chelsea, and I don't know why the caged bird sings. Rip, rip. Chi-Chi Devane. You are a gemstone among drag queens.
Yeah, I sent Chelsea that article today.
Sucked. I just saw the GoFundMe for her.
Yeah, 'cause she's been fighting pneumonia for a while.
Yeah, she had some like weird disease that was affecting her organs, and then she must have gotten like sick with pneumonia.
And then,
Sucks.
she passed away today.
Check out RuPaul's Drag Race season 7, I want to say. The one where Bob wins, and also All Stars 3. The one where Trixie Mattel wins.
Yeah. So what? Such a fucking bummer. But yeah, I think people are still collecting donations for her GoFundMe for her funeral now. So
Yeah, I sent some money, like, I don't know, trying to pay it forward. Like, people sent me money when I was down and out, so I tried to send not much. I think it was like $5 or $10. But
Yeah.
super fucking sad, man.
yeah, it sucks so bad. Like when you're a performer, like right now, there's no work. You don't have health insurance. Like,
Yeah, especially in the hospital in these times.
yeah. So super bummer. What like a loss to the art community in general and the drag community. So check out Chi Chi DeVane's stuff though, because she lives on with her performance and art.
Yep.
Speaking of art, we're gonna talk about. Sorry, there's a giant Apollo hair on the fucking mixer.
Okay. You want to know what rhymes with art?
What?
Fart.
Fart.
You want to know who was a human fart? Thomas Edison.
It's so true. So like, I just want to say that. Sorry if that bothered anyone. I had to. It was killing me.
I'm sorry if anyone can hear me drinking my loud ass water.
That's a lot.
Trying to be hydrated.
Girl, you better unscrew that thing. That's gonna drive me insane.
Look, this is what it sounds like in the microphone.
Watch it register. No. That you gotta.
Oh my God!
fucking-
Wait, have you? Before we get into Thomas Edison, I'm so sorry. I am obsessed with this Ben Shapiro WAP remix
Oh
on
my
YouTube.
God. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I have to play it.
Please.
I tried to get my gym to play it, but like the guy who like Oliver officiated this dude's wedding, so Oliver's real cool with him. I'm like, I had happened to attend his gym, and I thought we were in a place where I could send him a WAP video and be like, will you play this at the gym? Did not respond, so I have to stop going there. Hold on, there's an ad.
You should have you should have brought your own Bluetooth speaker and played it.
I played it in the parking lot, but like when you're with friends like that know you well, and you're like, listen to this song about wet ass pussies, they're like, cool, but some people don't appreciate it. Here we go.
Whores in this house. I said certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah. You effing with some wet ass P-word.
Wet ass P word.
I
I
like-
can't stop fucking saying it.
I like that he can say ass, but he can't say pussy.
Yeah.
That's a wet ass, and he could also say whores. He's like, there's some whores in
Yeah.
this house.
But and then he says kegel.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything
like,
about vaginas.
He's like a kegel.
Oh, God.
Like a kegel?
Ben Shapiro is an insufferable, tiny gremlin of a man.
Dude, I used to fucking hate him, and after that remix,
Now you like him?
I want that man to win a Grammy because that's the best song I've heard all fucking year.
The best part is that the internet didn't even have to come for him because he came for himself
Yeah.
when he said that his wife does not get wet.
Oh my God.
And everyone was like, well, hello? Play the Curb Your Enthusiasm music here,
Yeah, like-
fucking Ben Shapiro.
oh my God.
What a little
So
douche.
he is the human fart of our time.
He sure is.
But at least he is, I would dare say he's less of a fart than Thomas Edison, who is the ultimate ass queef.
yeah. Thomas Edison is if a loose butthole was also an engineer.
Yeah.
That's who he is to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to preface this by saying, like, I always hated Edison. You know, I look at a light and I'm like, fuck Thomas Edison. I hate the lights. I hate artificial light. I think it should die, just like Thomas Edison is dead. But I will say Thomas Edison is a piece of shit for many reasons that we'll get into here. But not, and it always comes back to this, not as big of a piece of shit as the United States government that backed him.
Yeah. Like they were in each other's pockets
Yeah.
in a nefarious way, right?
Yeah. It was a daisy chain between Thomas Edison, J.P. Morgan, and the United States government. And a daisy chain is like you're on the bottom, and then you have a dick, and then
Yeah.
there's a person on top of you. Your dick is in their ass. that person in the middle, dick inside of the other person on top's ass, daisy chaining.
I was thinking like the human centipede, but in the full shape of a donut.
Yeah. Also that. Insert, whatever physical representation you want to see here. So let's talk about Nikola Tesla. Born July 10th, 1856, he was a Serbian-American inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, and futurist, who is best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current AC electricity supply system. So, Tesla studied engineering and physics in the 1870s without receiving a degree. He gained practical experience in the early 1880s working in telephony, which is the field of technology involving the development, application, and deployment of telecommunication services for the purpose of electronic transmission, aka phone calls, fax, data between distant parties.
Yeah, just a man ahead of his time.
Yeah. The history of telephony is linked to the invention and development of a telephone. But keep in mind that like back in this time in like the 1880s, this was all just like a bunch of big brains sitting in a circle and being like, what if?
Yeah.
Imagine if.
Was this still when they yelled into a cone and then also listened to a cone?
This was pre-yelling in the cone.
Was it? This was pre-Alexander Graham Bell?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So
definitely a man ahead of his time.
So ahead. You don't even know how ahead he was. That's why they also said he was a futurist, because like he literally was thinking so outside of the box that no one could even comprehend where he was like getting his ideas. We'll get back into that in a second. But like, you know how we always say we probably truly have no idea what aliens look like because our minds can only fathom things that we've seen and understand ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we probably can't even imagine what it looks like outside of our own sphere.
Right.
Because like our brain can only work off of what we know.
Yeah.
And ideas based off of what we know.
Yeah.
Tesla broke that mold completely.
Yeah, that motherfucker could paint with all the colors of the wind.
Yeah. Straight up. Pocahontas on this bitch.
Yeah.
Just like he was thinking in ways that he immediately became marginalized because people could not even, they couldn't grasp the concept. It would be like us talking about time travel. Like, that's where he was, but like hawking it, like, give me 10 years and I've got it.
Yeah.
That's like essentially what he was doing. So in 1884, he immigrated to the United States where he became a naturalized citizen. He worked for the Edison Machine Works in New York City for a brief period before leaving the company because he knew any idea, invention, or improvement he came up with would be claimed by Edison.
Yeah.
So that's like a big thing in the history of Tesla that people don't realize or forget, that technically, like, if we're speaking between friends at a bar, Tesla was a better inventor than Edison. But Tesla came to the United States as a Serbian immigrant and got like a kind of like lowball job working in the Edison factory, essentially.
Right.
And here, Tesla firsthand witnessed like people brainstorming and Edison just taking those ideas and saying they were his own.
Because Edison was smart in a totally different and nefarious way where he was a networking and marketing fucking genius.
Yeah.
But that genius went into high tier tycoon nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Edison was in bed with J.P. Morgan and the Vanderbilts.
Yeah, that guy. Thou who doth control the banks.
Mm-hmm.
Doth control
the world.
The world.
Yeah.
I was going to say the money. And then I was like, no, you idiot. Obviously, it's money.
So, yeah. Where Edison was known as a tinkerer and like a marketing genius, Tesla was known as like the inventor, the idea man, like the big thinker. the out of the box guy. So just so you can kind of like see where they different. So Tesla was specifically leaving the Edison factory because Edison was pumping out DC, direct current. And it's low power, shit fucking energy, essentially. And Tesla was like, I know that you're like sucking the dick of DC, but like AC is where it's at. Alternating current. And it's bigger, faster, stronger, cleaner. It can go bigger distances. Everything about it sounds better, and it almost makes you wonder why you would invest in DC when you know that AC is the higher quality shit.
Right.
So Tesla invented an alternating current induction motor and released AC patents. This earned him enough money to set up laboratories and companies in New York that developed a range of electrical and mechanical devices. Attempting to develop inventions he could patent and market, because he kind of knew that like you have to have friends in the industry to make money. Tesla conducted a range of experiments with mechanical generators, electrical discharge tubes, and early X-ray imaging. He also built a wireless controlled boat, one of the first ever exhibited. So he was just like blowing people's fucking minds. Imagine like, you know, this is back in the days of like your form of entertainment is what's happening in like a town square, or like you go past Coney Island and it's like the Barker in front. Yeah. So that's like essentially what Tesla was doing. He was making these like quick inventions that would blow people's minds.
Yeah,
and
he was just for the people in like a good way. Like,
yeah,
hey, like this is neat. Come see it. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to release the patents and now we can all get our hands on it.
Yeah. And like, if his profile pictures and portraits didn't tell the story enough, he was known to be like a showman. Like while Edison may have had the gift of gab, like Tesla knew how to make people's jaws drop. Like he had charisma, and that on top of his kind of like blowing your mind inventions, he was just like coming for the what was it, like the Nobel Prize?
Right. Yeah.
He was gunning for it, and there were a lot of talks of it. And like the same shit that Einstein was spewing, Tesla was saying as well, but even more so. He would talk about how like atoms essentially are like little universes within themselves, like just this mind-boggling shit. And Edison was not having any of that. There was only room for one big brain in New York City, and that was going to be him.
And it wasn't going to be a play fair thing of may the best invention work.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
no, not at all. So this is where we kind of take a pause. Know that all these things are happening at the same time because Tesla was moving all across the United States with his inventions and working for different companies and building different laboratories. Like he was in California, he was in Colorado, he was in New York. So remember what's happening above, and then also know that this is happening at the same time. In 1899, Tesla was testing a magnifying transmitter in Colorado Springs, built to track storms. He claims that he received a transmission from an unknown source. He heard 3 beeps in sequence, repetitively. They had purpose, he just couldn't make it out clearly. But what he did know was that they came from outer space, specifically what he projects to be Mars. Tesla reported what happened and claimed to communicate with aliens publicly in a 1901 article for the Collier Weekly called Talking with the Planets. In this article, he claims that these extraterrestrials have been controlling or communicating with humans for centuries. He became obsessed with trying to speak with aliens after this. And this is where most will claim that all of Tesla's big inventions were coming as a direct result of him speaking with aliens.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Colorado is just a hub for alien activity too, which is so weird because even when everyone's like, oh, we're going to storm Area 51, a lot of people are like, the real shit's in the Colorado base.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like secret remnants of Tesla's interactions or like ideas that are...
We'll get there.
Ooh, bitch.
So, he was, and after this, so he was like blowing people's minds. He had this alien encounter. He publicly came out in an article and said, like, not only do I speak with aliens, but I'm convinced that they have been interfering with humankind for centuries. And this is where like every single person like thought that he was a fucking lunatic. Like they thought he was crazy before. He was just labeled as a mad scientist. We could just assume, like, we know for sure Edison was like, bro, what the fuck? And JP Morgan, who was his BFF, was like, no one give this man any money. And then big government entities were like, talking to aliens, you crazy fucking Serbian motherfucker.
Or they're like, oh shit, he's on to us.
We can,
let's destroy this man.
We could say that.
Also, the fact that he was able to even do this, like, NASA couldn't even, like, tweak a lot of this, like, radio implementation in the 50s. Like, it took, like, so much fine-tuning in order to, like, get the radio frequencies right. So, like, sending out a radio signal, easy. But to receive one back...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was doing that in, like, the fucking 1880s.
Right.
So... Tesla was coming up with ideas for wireless lighting and worldwide wireless electric power distribution through AC. So this is like everything we know now. Tesla was spitballing it. Mm-hmm. And everyone says that this is information directly from the aliens. Like the idea of wireless lighting, worldwide wireless electrical power distribution. So every single person in the world has power and it's done safely and cleanly and in a renewable way.
And in the biggest deal of all, affordable, dare I say free?
Yeah. Yep.
No one could make money off of Tesla's distribution of energy in this way.
Yeah. Because AC is like so powerful and like, I don't mean to spoil the story, but currently we all use DC. I think 2006, the last person who was on DC current was switched over to AC. Like there are only a few elevators and I think San Francisco and New York that use DC, but they're on, they even have adapters as well. Like everyone is on AC now, but it's specifically those like accelerators and electric power distribution monitors that like Tesla was patenting and inventing that would make everything wireless, worldwide, free, clean, renewable that no one has seen or heard of.
So why weren't we at AC then, Noel, when this was going down? How come Tesla didn't get his shit to the people?
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna get there. I have one more sentence and then we're gonna get into the fun shit. So not only was he coming up with ideas, not just theorizing, ideas for how we could give the world power for free. He was theorizing the possibility of wireless communication with his devices, aka he was thinking of fucking Wi-Fi and satellites and cell towers before anyone can see past their fucking nose. He even tried to put these ideas to practical use with his unfinished Wardenclyffe Tower project, which was a wireless communication and power transmitter, but he ran out of funding before he could complete it. This just comes down to like debts and deadlines. Like people being like, I'm investing this much if you get me this by this time.
Yeah.
So you can thread in sabotage here, but who knows? Now we enter back into the War of Currents, is what it was called. So this came out of the two lighting systems developed in the 1870s and early 1800s, which you can see at the time were arc lamp street lights running on high voltage alternating current, or AC, which was Tesla and what we'll know as Westinghouse, and large scale low voltage direct current, DC, which was indoor incandescent lighting being marked by Thomas Edison's company. In 1886, the Edison system was faced with new competition, an AC system developed by George Westinghouse's company that used transformers to step down from high voltage so AC could be used for indoor lighting. Using high voltage allowed an AC system to transmit power over longer distances and more efficient large central generating stations. The spread of AC grew, especially when Tesla teamed up with Westinghouse. And so Westinghouse knew that Tesla was patenting shit for AC and that Tesla was fucking with AC hard. And so they just teamed up together. And like at this point, Tesla was the king of like inventing shit, patenting shit, and like gaining and losing money. It takes a lot of money to patent shit. And back in the day, like he was positive, negative all the time. So Westinghouse was funding a lot of Tesla's experiments, inventions, and patents. And together they teamed up to kind of promote the AC system of like, we can literally do it. AC is essentially work smarter, not harder.
Right.
Like we can take 1% of AC and fucking power this whole entire city. So now we come into the, how do you make affordable, clean energy seem ugly? Like what do you do?
What does Edison do
Yeah.
to keep his finger in the pie when
Yeah.
a superior, better product is eclipsing him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's also pause here before we get into this and throw in like a spice of conspiracy. The world wasn't ready for, I shouldn't say the world was ready. Governing powers who were making money and businesses who were making money. Remember, this was like the time of, the Vanderbilts and Carnegie, and Edison was still alive. Like this was the foundations of America and American capitalism and the founding capitalist American families. Like AC was around, and people were starting, like Westinghouse was starting to see how we could make AC usable. But Tesla was saying, I'm going to take what he's doing and I can make it even better. I can make it clean, safe, and easily accessible, not just to this country, but every single person in the world. And that's the part that no one was ready for.
Yeah, because with capitalism, you can't have a blanket of equality. You need to have the top with all of it, and then just perhaps allow people to buy in.
Yeah.
And the more money that you have, the more you can get. Whereas Tesla was like, no. We're frosting the cake evenly.
Yeah. And so, like, you have to know that there are essentially three parts to the story. There's the DC, keep everything the way it is, where it's super expensive and inefficient. The AC light, which is taking high power and making it accessible and indoors. And then there's Tesla's AC extreme, which is free, clean, easily accessible.
Okay.
So, conspiracy theorists like to now say, since we know that Edison is sucking the dick of JP Morgan, that also at this time, government entities were backing Edison, saying we cannot let Tesla's ideas reach the light of day. We cannot let, AC was already becoming a household name, but we cannot let Tesla's version of AC seem even remotely reasonable. Do everything by all means with an unlimited pool of resources to make sure that doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, because they don't want brown people or women to have access to it.
Yeah.
And it's like the Vanderbilts and the Carnegies and all the other people. The banks control the government. And so when the banks are coming to the government and are like, shut this shit down, they're like, how would you like me to do it? In the worst way possible? We're game. We see it now. Like, it's the same thing that we're seeing with like these corporate bailouts, because now corporations are acting like separate entities or even banks. And that's why people like you and me aren't getting any stimulus for the country completely shutting down.
Yeah.
You know? Well, you more so, or like any other essential worker, because the banks are telling the government no.
Yeah. It's fun how they're all sleeping with each other. So,
yeah, it's just a donut centipede.
Right.
Donut centipede.
We come back to the question, how do you make something so logical seem unreasonable?
Yeah, how?
And
how, Noelle? How?
the easiest thing to do is to make it dangerous. So, the first smear campaign, the type of electrical current that was used in electrical chairs, like for electrocution, was not specified at this time. Like, why would it be? People just knew that like people got electrocuted like in electrical chairs.
Zeus did it.
Yeah, they don't fucking. They're like, what? So Edison took advantage of that and started to associate the electric chair with AC current, making it seem lethal and unsafe and used for deathly means only. So, and you're like, how could this happen? Well, not only did Edison like run ads, he also created a newspaper called by the Edison Electric Light Company, and he titled it "A Warning from the Edison Electric Light Company." And in the newspaper, it claimed that AC is deadly and not a single death has resulted from his DC current.
Because the DC current just gets really hot and you burn yourself slightly.
Yeah.
While you sit in the still darkness of your really loud home.
It's just like the classic case of like information being unavailable to everyone. There were, of course, cases of people dying by accidental electrocution from fucking DC current. Like,
yeah,
it was happening. Like, accidents happen, and this was when you could just literally be like, and no one's died. Like, no one fucking questioned it.
You can just piss into the wind.
Yeah,
and no one will say anything about it. You're the one with the wiener. I don't know
right?
where that was going.
Great job.
Thank you.
We are also introduced to this character called Harold Brown, who was basically like a traveling salesman talking about how AC is fucking whack. In the beginning, he claimed to have no connection to Edison and said that he was just like a concerned citizen and like he cared about, the family and wanted to protect America. Spoiler alert, was completely proven to be colluding with Edison and being funded by him.
What?
Surprise, surprise.
So he just hired a
shadow man, a puppet dude, because Edison couldn't be out there specifically himself. It was all like sketchy means.
Yeah, you can't get your hands dirty.
Yeah. For the biggest reason why we hate Edison, not just because he shit all over Tesla, who was just trying to give us the future we all thought we would have,
but because he killed an elephant.
Because he killed a lot. He would electrocute, well, not Edison specifically, but people who worked for Edison, like Harold Brown, would electrocute dogs at Columbia College using AC current to try to prove how deadly it was. And this would be live in front of a campus of students. He went, and this is why you were like, what do you mean you weren't colluding with him? He went to the Edison West Orange lab in front of a group of spectators and killed a horse with AC current. And the most famous of all is the black and white short film that was filmed live at Coney Island, where the Edison Company was the producing and distributing business behind the film, where they electrocuted Topsy the elephant using AC current.
And they did a terrible job. They lifted the elephant up, dropped it, lifted it up again. It was not a good day for Topsy. And isn't it weird that somebody who is like, look at what a piece of shit person Tesla's energy is the bigger piece of shit by just murdering animals all over the country. And there was no connection. Like, you could be like, look at how bad fists are, and then beat a puppy to death. And who would be like, oh, I should cut off my fist then? It's like, no, you crazy lunatic. Stop killing animals.
Yeah. It's so insane to me, and there's not too much about how the public reacted to the live execution of animals in front of them, but it's tough to say because I don't think we were
worse then.
We were worse then. I don't think you would go to jail for beating a dog back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't even go to jail for murdering a black person back then.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just a little fine.
Exactly. So they weren't caring about fucking dogs. So to wrap this part up a little quick, because just know that Tesla and Westinghouse were fighting the good fight, but they were fighting against a pile of money and fear-mongering bullshit propaganda. There was like nothing they could do.
Yeah, they were ready for a gentleman's fisticuffs, and then they're out there. Edison's out there fucking killing elephants. They're like, Jesus Christ, we're not going to go this far.
Yeah,
because our product speaks for itself.
Yeah,
they were too good, and they kept their hands so clean in all of this. But like anything in America, you have to kill a whole bunch of people and things and animals, and you have to be a terrible person to rise to the top, because we don't truly live in a capitalist state.
No.
We live in a nightmarish hell where the rich control everything we do, and they're not going to share their money unless you're like willing to fucking murder an elephant.
You don't get to the top without stepping on the necks of everyone else. So, even with the Westinghouse-Tesla war for AC lost by essentially Edison's propaganda war, the war of the currents itself was winding down with direct current on the losing side. Which you're like, huh? What? DC? That's fucking Edison. Well, this was due in part to Edison himself leaving the electric power business. Edison's Electric then started to lobby to add AC power transmission to their systems, and in October 1890, Edison Machine Works began developing AC-based equipment. So
he goes on a national campaign to undermine the upward mobility of what Tesla and Westinghouse had created, and then once it was so damaged, then he could come in like the white messiah and be like, no, I'll fix it now.
Yeah.
On the backs
Yeah.
of two men who legitimately just wanted to make the world better.
Yeah. And by power and money alone, taking what Westinghouse and Tesla did for AC, they claimed it as their own. By the 1930s, DC was starting to convert to AC all around the U.S. major cities. Keep in mind that this was around the start of World War II. So, what happened? Like, how could this literally happen? Well, exactly what they wanted to happen. Tesla's name had been dragged through the mud so much that any ideas that he had of his version of AC were squashed, and they were basically like kicked to the side. And secretively, essentially, Edison Company came in, took Westinghouse's version of AC because it was cheaper and more powerful. By this time, Westinghouse and Tesla essentially had no money to fight the fight, so Edison Company came in and took everything. That's that. But it doesn't end here.
Of course it doesn't. It has to get so much worse.
Because, like, Tesla's an inventor. So just because he was on the fight of AC doesn't mean that's all he was doing.
Yeah.
He was also working on some questionable tech. He wasn't just working out what we would come to know as Wi-Fi. He was also working on a motherfucking death ray.
Which is cool as hell.
I know. He called it a death beam because, in his words, quote, "This invention of mine does not contemplate the use of any so-called death rays. Rays are not applicable because they cannot be produced in requisite quantities and diminish rapidly in intensity with distance." So essentially, he was building a particle beam or electromagnetic weapon.
And he's like, "It's not a ray, it's a beam, you guys."
Yes,
he pushes up his glasses.
Stop it. It's a beam. Tesla said that a nation could, quote, "destroy anything approaching within 200 miles and will provide a wall of power in order to make any country, large or small, impregnable against enemies, airplanes, and other means for attack."
Yeah, he was fucking looking at the bigger picture. It wasn't about AC. It was about protecting us from the aliens the whole time.
Right.
Edison was just out here like diddling, trying to make money, and Tesla's like, "Yeah, cool, man. I just want everybody to have power, but really the aliens." He was the John motherfucking Snow trying to get Westeros to fight the White Walkers. We're not even talking about season 8 right now. Season 8 doesn't exist in my mind. But he was the Jon Snow. He's like, no, there's a much bigger threat that we need to focus on. And you have fucking Joffrey running around, hitting little people and women, and Tesla's just trying to fight the good fight.
Little people. Good one. Good save. Yeah, so God, that sound.
Sorry, I need to hydrate.
It's okay.
I can't hydrate too much because you don't have toilet paper.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He claimed to have worked on the project since about 1900 and said that it drew power from the ionosphere, which he claimed was an invisible ball of energy surrounding Earth. He said that he had done this with the help of a 50-foot Tesla coil, which you can look up the picture of Tesla next to this giant Tesla coil, and it literally looks like Dr. Frankenstein. Like, it's mad scientist shit. It's this gigantic coiling, like lightning bolts hitting it, and he's sitting next to it with his like leg crossed reading the newspaper. And
Yeah.
you're like, this is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, Tesla was so fucking cool, and he had those like huge balls,
Yeah.
like literally
He
and
had the-
figuratively.
He had the biggest balls in the
He
room.
did. He had these huge balls that he would like track their movement.
He also had to wear bigger sized pants because his balls were so...
Yeah, that's where he kept it. The Tesla coil was actually just an extension
Yeah.
of his penis that he had to coil up to make room for it in his laboratory. And he's like, "How is this for AC?"
Suck on this, Edison. So, what happened to Tesla after all this? Why don't we really know about Tesla? Why wasn't Tesla ever given the Nobel Peace Prize? Why isn't Tesla revered in such a way that not just to Edison, but Einstein is? Like, why?
Yeah, how come? Like,
How come?
nobody ruined his reputation, did they?
Oh, for sure they did. And then...
Oh, what? Why?
Yeah.
They just were threatened by his intelligence?
Yeah,
and
not
his
only did they
tenacity?
ruin his reputation in any means to be in history books as he rightfully should be, after mentioning his death ray beam, what do you think happened?
Edison and the government were like, "This is a dangerous Serbian man, and we are afraid of everybody in this world right now because it's World War II."
So what happened?
Did they kill him? Did they disappear his ass? Did Edison send him to another dimension? Did the aliens get him?
He died. He was found dead in his hotel room in New York City.
How old was he?
I think like 89. He was older.
Okay. I wonder. Okay. So he could have just, died.
Hold on.
But you know me, I refuse to believe that. I think what happened was they put him on an ice block and then.
Oh, he was
they had
86, pardon. He was 86.
Oh, still a snack though.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's like obviously younger photo.
And he died poor and reclusive
In 1943. So fucking sad.
by coronary thrombosis.
Edison took his gun, his ray gun.
Right.
He took
So-
Tesla's own fucking ray beam and hit him in the heart with it.
Tesla did outlive Edison, who only lived to a measly 84 years old. He
84. Get the
I know.
fuck out. Try 86 like a man.
Right. He died in 1931. Tesla died in 1943. But yeah, Tesla died poor and reclusive because he had basically been shunned due to what happened during the War of Currents. But there's more, because there always is. He was found dead in his hotel room. His room was immediately ransacked by the FBI. All of his property and documents were seized by the U.S. government. Are you ready for this?
Oh, just hit me with it.
The FBI/U.S. government elected one electrical engineer from MIT to evaluate Tesla's papers to determine whether they contained any ideas of significant value. That man's name? Dr. John G. Trump.
No!
The uncle
Shut
of Donald J. Trump? Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Shut the fuck up. And what
No.
he did was tell me what you want me to say about these documents so we can disappear them.
Yeah.
That's what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Trumps aren't known
No.
to come from a line of like esteemed men who are known for their honesty.
Yeah.
They just disappeared all his shit and we'll never get.
I mean,
You look very indignant.
Let's
I'm
find
upset
out.
with you.
Let's find out. Trump reported that his analysis showed Tesla's efforts to be, quote, primarily of a speculative, philosophical, and promotional character, aka bullshit.
No, you're bullshit, Trump. I don't
Bullshit.
trust anyone who can't grow their own fucking hair.
Yeah. And said the papers did, quote, not include new sound, workable principles or methods for realizing such results. Again, crazy batshit bullshit. No one should care. He was a lunatic with nothing to offer the world.
He just didn't understand and or buried. The government took that shit and they brought it straight to Area 51.
Well, the FBI agreed with Trump's report, and they sent the remains of Tesla's work to his heir back in Serbia, which was like a nephew. While the FBI recorded over 80 trunks of Tesla's belongings, only 60 arrived to Serbia.
Of fucking course.
Yeah. The 2016 declassified FBI documents shine some light onto that.
Oh my God, tell me.
Despite John G. Trump's dismissive assessment of Tesla's ideas immediately after his death, the military did try to incorporate particle beam weaponry in the decades following World War II. There is also evidence that Franklin D. Roosevelt's vice president, Henry Wallace, discussed, and quote, the effects of Tesla, particularly those dealing with the wireless transmission of electrical energy and the quote unquote death ray. With his advisors, according to FBI documents, the Tesla files uncovered played a gigantic role in Vannevar Bush, whom FDR appointed as the head of the Manhattan Project, like his biggest source of information. In the evaluation of Tesla's papers, they also looked at the possibility that FDR himself may have sought a meeting with the inventor just before he died. Notably, the inspiration of the death ray, quote unquote, fueled Ronald Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative, or Star Wars program, in the 1980s. Most hypothesize that the government is still using Tesla's ideas to power its technology, and that could explain why some files related to Tesla still remain classified.
Of course. They don't want the enemies to know.
The end.
I am upset. And you know what? Tesla is still being punked because Elon Musk, famous bastard POS, also stole the work, most of the work from another man to start his company.
Yeah.
He Edisoned his way into Tesla.
He Edisoned Tesla again. He Edisoned Tesla so hard that he took Tesla's name, and now Tesla is associated with some fucking fake hairpiece apartheid millionaire scumbag.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that?
I'm upset. I feel perturbed.
You should.
It's and of course the Bush for the Manhattan Project, the Trump for the dude. What if Trump was lined up to be a president since then, and we're all just pawns in the scheme of things?
I think honestly, and like, let me put my tinfoil hat on here. So I genuinely think that like some of the reason why Trump's family is like who they are is from his uncle and the debts owed and debts received from the government and what he found out. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like they got started in like property owner, like property management type shit, which is like, I don't know, any type of millions of realtor
This
type
is his
deals.
father's brother.
Yeah.
This is like, he could touch him. And Trump's talked about his uncle before. In
Yeah, I know
speeches
my
and shit.
father's brother, Uncle Fred. He lives in Arizona. That's so close.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
I think one of like the most upsetting things here is that like Tesla was genuinely like ahead of his time, and he was such a fucking trailblazer. And of course there are like rumors that he was in like a same-sex relationship or was at least bisexual. And it's like all he wanted was to make humanity better.
Yeah.
Like he wanted society to be better.
He was the Robin Hood of science.
For sure. Like that's all he wanted. That was his only goal. Everything he did and invented or thought of or hypothesized was all to make life better for humanity. And ultimately that is what destroyed him, because he was thinking for the future in a time where everyone was thinking for themselves in the now.
Yeah.
In a time where like people were literally killing children in factories so that they could Scrooge McDuck dive into their piles of money, absolutely destroying the environment and communities and giving people unfair working conditions, unfair wages, unfair working hours in this time of the American capitalist, industrialist, like everyone out for themselves, cutthroat era. He was saying, I want everyone to be okay. I want everyone to have basic human amenities, and I want it to be affordable, maybe even free. I want it to be good for the environment. I want everyone to be able to live a happy life.
Well, even imagine, like, we are children of the internet, and I feel like that's why our generation is a little bit more liberal. Imagine how much further advanced we would have been if we would have had this, like, Wi-Fi technology then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the midst of World War II, if people could have seen the atrocities of, like, the Holocaust firsthand.
Yeah.
Imagine the progressions that we would have made so much fucking faster.
Yeah.
Or, like, the fact that Nazis are like popping up like weeds now, and there's Holocaust deniers. You know, Facebook just got caught with an algorithm that promoted Holocaust deniers and like put like the actual Holocaust facts like lower in the Facebook algorithm. Like, just imagine if people like Tesla were able to rise to the top and not the Edisons.
We would literally live in a different world. Like, genuinely, we would live in a different society.
Oh yeah,
and like
we would have also killed all the aliens on Mars by now.
Yeah, we probably would have been
Tesla
living
was ready
on,
for those motherfuckers. He ain't sleeping
Elon
on
wouldn't
Mars.
even have shit to do because we would have been on Mars by now.
Yeah, and to the FBI agent who's listening to us,
suck my dick.
Fuck you and Elon Musk.
You know what? You could suck my dick while I stand on top of Elon Musk's shitty fucking paid for hairline. You piece of shit. So. Yeah, like, not only should we be upset that we have clear evidence that the government and powers that be didn't want humanity to progress to a more like equal and fair and free society, we should also feel bad for Tesla because he should be, you know, the fucking Einstein of like the world, but he's not. He's barely mentioned in any textbooks. He's barely mentioned in history at all because rich and powerful people erased his name. The only reason why he's even coming back into like modern conversation, unfortunately, is because of fucking shitbag Elon.
Yeah, Elon Edison Musk.
Yeah.
Who, with
Edison,
his daddy's
Elon
emeralds.
Musk. Yeah. With his daddy's blood diamonds. So it's super unfortunate. And to know that Tesla died alone, poor, living out of hotel rooms, reclused because he felt distant and distanced and rejected by society and the communities and the scientific community and the American population at large. Everyone should feel bad about that.
And meanwhile, Edison is known the world over and has entire museums dedicated to him.
I think in Serbia they have a Tesla museum with
I don't want to go to Serbia that
I know
much,
no one's trying to go to Serbia. But anyway, we be upset. At the end of the day, fuck Edison. Literally, Edison can suck my dick and choke on it. If I don't also mind saying that.
Yeah, he can't even, you know what, I'm also betting that much like Ben Shapiro, he will never know a WAP.
Yeah.
Not this one, at least.
The only thing wet for Edison is the drool that he has to wipe off of himself because he is a capitalist pig.
Yeah, fuck you, Edison.
Oink, oink.
Thanks for stealing Tesla's ideas and making them, everyone thinks that they're your own. Everyone's like, oh, the lights are from Edison. I'm like, these lights aren't from Edison.
These lights are not. These are Tesla lights. Also, Edison, you are a piece of shit, animal killer, sociopath, capitalist pig. I hope hell is fun for you, and every day you get raped by Hitler.
Same.
So
I want him to get like Eiffel
you could tell him I
Towered.
said that.
Yeah, Eiffel Towered by by Hitler. Ooh, who'd be another person who sucks? Hitler and the Trump. The old ass Uncle Trump. Is he still alive?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
All of
Also,
Trump's
tell
relatives.
him.
Yeah.
Tell John G. Trump that he could suck my dick too.
I'll tell him. I'll
Motherfuckers.
tweet it.
I'll tell him. Tell
tweet
him. Tell him I said it.
Yeah.
So-
Noelle from Utah.
I said it.
She said it.
Suck my dick. So anyway, yeah, that's Nikola Tesla.
Nice. Also, people, please keep posting the birds aren't real memes in the Facebook group because
Yeah.
that's like getting me through my day.
It's really good.
Now I hope we get more Tesla memes. I'm gonna make Tesla merch for the store.
Please.
Um,
It's important to me.
Yeah, it should be important.
It should be important to all of us.
If you're wondering why the way that Noelle feels about Edison, that I now feel strongly with too, is how I feel about Stan Lee.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit and should
Yeah.
die. I also feel that way about Stanley.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should, and also it's our job to take back Tesla's name from shitbag Elon and give it back to that beautiful, dapper man who wanted to save us all.
Yeah. Fuck you, Elon.
Who was shit on by a Trump years before we knew the shit show that would be 2020.
Oh my God. I bet Edison pooped right in Trump's mouth and he liked it.
He was hella dead, but it's okay. Edison was, but we'll pretend. Yeah. So that's it. Also, happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it is my birthday on Sunday.
I got you a present. It's going to be here tomorrow. It's very fun.
I'm ready for it. Hopefully you can come hunt geodes.
I'm hoping to. That's my thing.
It's quite the drive. There are various sources that say it takes between like 1 hour, 40 minutes to 3 hours.
Oh, that's a stretch of time.
Yes. So if for those of you who cannot make it there, I totally understand. Then we will just drink in the yard when I get home.
Okay.
Something for everyone.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. But I'll bring home like a bucket of geodes and I will gift them to all of my friends.
Please. I would love that. I just want to dig in the dirt. So
Yeah. We're thinking about leaving. I'll just say this. I need to
don't
talk
tell
about
all
it.
of them where to go.
Here's my address.
Here's where we're meeting. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pocket my Hail Satan for a much deserved Hail Tesla.
Hail AC.
Forever, dog.